Hello and welcome back to the Gold Advantage. World's 2023 Playins stage is over. The grind, the glory, the grind part of watching that part of League is over. We're now heading into the glory part, which is going to be exciting, full of upsets and disappointment likely for definitely the LCS and potentially the LEC. I'm your host, Nikita. Back with me after Scoot's little pop-in is Mr. Blivin. How are you doing?
Doing great. I appreciate Scoot filling in for a minute there while I was unfortunately moving. I'm now down in Jacksonville, Florida. If there's any League fans down here, come say hello. Yeah, I think you nailed it, right? Like the play-ins is a slog, right? You're kind of watching a bunch of teams that were the best of their region, not always the best in the world, but it's really just like the appetizer. It's the hors d'oeuvres that leads into what is the most exciting time. You know, these two next upcoming weeks where you're getting this much gameplay constantly against all the best teams in the from the best regions. This is what we're here for. This is what we waited all year for. This is when the big guns come out, and I'm ecstatic. I'm excited. I'm all the E words that you can imagine.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the plans were fine. It was nice to see like Team Wales do so well, and I really thought that every match they seemed to get better. It was a shame they fell at the end, but well deserved to GAM. They just got outclassed. The other side, obviously, we have to talk about BDS. They knock out Golden Guardians in an incredibly one-sided match. Hands up, I was all on the Golden Guardians train. I thought they have a month to fix what's wrong. What's wrong with them was so easy to diagnose, and it was just a disaster. Yeah. But BDS, we were talking about this before the show started. BDS's trolling, essentially, or little hiccup at the beginning, where they got upset.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it trolling. I wouldn't call it trolling.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, true. It wasn't a troll. It was them just looking bad.
Right. Not the only time they looked bad throughout.
No, not at all.
This little play-in stage.
But that dropped them into a lower bracket, which meant that they ended up facing off against PSG. And I think PSG was without a doubt the number one picked team to get out in terms of futures betting at the very least, because everyone else had, like BDS had just awful odds, whereas PSG had decent odds. So they really caused an upset with that win. But
for good reason.
What a series.
Yeah. I mean, for good reason. PSG is a perennial mainstay in the world stage. They have a great team. And honestly, after two games, you were thinking that, this BDS team doesn't deserve to be in the main stage. And so, look, I've never watched a game of League of Legends before where there are more dragons killed after 30 minutes than actual champions and players. Yeah. That was a first. And then I've also never seen a game where BDS just looked so inept after 5 minutes in the second game. So for them to turn it around, and honestly, game 5, I mean, we'll talk. Maybe this is the moment, but game 5 was looking dire, and I was like, for them to come all the way back, bring it back 2-2, and then just kind of lay an egg like that.
They took the risky kind of pick in Darius.
All it takes is one good fight.
It's like, hey, we've got to steamroll, and it's like you guys are not getting ahead like you need to be. You're not
far behind
kills into what you need it to be, and they gave PSG the opportunities, and you were like, well, look, now the Talia and the Na have their items. They're coming online. Yep. This is a real problem. And then that one fight.
It just takes one fight. It just takes one fight.
I'll be honest, I put money on game 5, and my belief was...
Wait, which side? Which side did you put it on?
On BDS. Because I was like, I think they are more accustomed to the pressure of we have to win, and let's
they love it. They actually thrive. They thrive in that pressure. That's actually where they like to be.
I think they thrive. I don't know if it's so much the pressure, because they crumbled when they first start playing. I think they thrive when they don't have anything to lose.
Yeah,
I think when they loosen up game 1 and 2, and even through the bracket, we saw them playing this reserve style of being cautious and let's play traditional League of Legends. It's like, no,
incorrect.
Game 1 and game 2, I was falling asleep. I was like, dude, why am I even watching this? And game 3, they came in and they were like, you know what? Forget the meta. Forget how we're supposed to play. We're just going to play BDS style. And it's like, hey, guess what? Now you reverse swept them.
And it's only the third time a reverse sweep has ever happened within Worlds. Yeah. And so this is the history that we were watching.
Big news.
Look, I completely agree. BDS's style is bloodthirsty, get aggressive. We have a great fighting style, unconventional, but we will make shit happen usually, and then they'll also blow objectives. They tried to do that, but funny enough, it was around the dragon, right? The dragon pit.
It was a mid lane bush.
Yeah.
Dragon side, yeah.
They fucking split it,
and then they won the Elder Dragon fight. They got the they
and then they steamroll it, and then they steamroll it, and I've been in a part of many of my own league games where you're winning, you're thinking I've got this. You've already busted down the base towers. You've already crushed off some inhibitors, but the next thing you know, it flips on you. You think you got the win, and honestly, if you'd put your bet, Nikki, with about 5 minutes there before the game ended, you would have had incredible odds in your favor.
I know. I was thinking I'd lost it all, to be honest.
Yeah.
God damn it. Anyway, so look, we're rolling into the matches. These are all best of ones. It's pretty quick and dry to run through. The draws, I was trying to think about this, and I was like, is there anything worth saying? Is it like a good draw? Is it a bad draw? And I was like, you know what? It's a draw. It's neither great. It's neither bad. I think the format itself, if we got great matches, and we mean by great as in like we got EU, NA facing off from the start, all that would mean is that we probably wouldn't see it as much later on. So right now, we're going to get some matches. We'll see how things shake out. And just to reiterate it, format is everyone faces off against the best of one. If you win your match, you move up to face off against the other people who won their match. You lose your match, you drop down to face off against the other people that lose their match. If you're able to win 3 matches, you qualify. If you lose 3 matches, you're out. Every qualifier and elimination match is going to be a best of 3. So there's legitimately, you're going to be facing off equal parity kind of seeing, and we should be getting some good results. I'm pretty excited about it. And it's kicking off.
So can I just interject for a minute?
By all means.
Because I know I wasn't here for the futures that you guys did on the last one, but man, I love, I'm on a sports book. I just love seeing that finally people are taking esports betting more seriously. We've got full amounts of futures in our as an option. We've got the outright winner. We've got player specialists, like which player is going to finish MVP, region of the winner, obviously, which we've had forever. But like, there's some team specials, right? Like top LCK team, top LCS team. Like there are all these different bets. I just wanted to comment that I'm so happy where we are today versus where we have been. Growing. I know you and Scoot talked about it, but just for one outright, does the first weekend of play-ins change at all your thoughts on who's going to win it all?
First weekend of play-ins, absolutely not. No. I don't think GAM or BDS are gonna win it all, so I'm pretty confident in that one.
I don't know, man. BDS when they are their backs against the wall, they do know how to play.
Exactly. No, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm particularly curious about how is EU going to match up against some of these teams. That's my big question. And then Cloud9 versus Mad-Lion. So I'm looking at the G2 matchup and okay, what are we getting? Because I'm a believer in G2. Some people are saying that they think Fnatic could do quite well because they have Humanoid, who always typically shows up at Worlds, does well. There's a big question mark which Noah is showing up, the good one, the bad one. If it's a good one, could be great, but I don't know that I'm as big on the Fnatic train as I am on G2.
Got it. From some future bets, the one that just is glaringly jumping out to me is like, look, I know it's top LPL team. I know JDG is historical, but man, LNG at 5.65 as a flyer, to be the top LPL team is kind of insane odds. Like the LPL always performs and there's always a fucking crazy team coming from nowhere when the top dog just like somehow falters a little bit. And so you can get LNG and Billy at 5.65 and 7.49 as the top LPL team. Like that seems just too delicious to not bet on.
I mean, we talked about it last week. I'm sure you tuned in, but for people coming back, and Scoot and I were saying like, I'm big on the JDG train, but I don't know that a favorite, like basically a favorite never wins Worlds.
Correct.
Favorites never win Worlds. Super teams never win Worlds.
Correct.
So it's like, I almost can't believe JDG will do it. And the fact is LNG beat BLG recently. BLG had an historic run in the LPL this year. They took JDG to a 5-game series. I'm like, I really think they're the dark horse. So those
for the
odds
value, those odds are insane.
Amazing. And I think even just like taking them like to reach the finals is a sort of bet that like could be really good. That's also why I'm big on KT. I think the narrative around the KT took a big slump because they lost to T1, but it seems like T1 is their kryptonite. Just that team that they it doesn't matter how bad T1 is, KT can't beat them. Right. And I think KT might be the LCK sleeper team. We'll have to see.
And I did listen, and I do completely agree with like everyone's loving Gen.G. You just cannot trust Gen.G until you see them actually do something. That they love to just falter in Worlds.
Robert pushed back on my Gen.G is going to choke, and that you can't trust them.
I'm sure he had facts, and I'm sure he had data to back him up.
He did. He was like, they won the split twice now.
But like, I would just dismiss all of that. Yeah, exactly.
My heart's not in it. But if you agree with Robert, you can join our Discord. Just link down below. Let us know why we're wrong, why we're right.
This is a nonsense, pure emotion podcast. This is not about data or facts.
Not logic. But look, matches kick off with T1 versus TL. The odds here are horrendous on T1.
Horrendous.
There's absolutely no point taking them. I also don't love.
There's no reason to take Liquid either.
No, obviously not. Sorry, why would we even say that?
You need to say that because I'm BigMoneyBlivs. I am usually up for a nice little long shot, but I'm not taking.
It's not going to happen. You might look at the kill spread, and I think the line is at -10.5 for T1. The problem is, I don't know that T1 will not end the game too soon.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It might be done after 23 minutes. Yeah.
Exactly. It's that sort of win. And it's just such a big gap there in that sort of handicap. I don't think it's worth it. Look, maybe TL's going to come out and they have a lot of Koreans on their team, so maybe they'll win it. But this is not the upset I'm looking for.
Not based on the Team Liquid team that we saw all season.
No, not at all. Next match, Cloud9 versus Mad Lions. This is an interesting one. I know you're into it. Kick us off. Take it away.
This is in my opinion, this is the most important match of the entire first day. I think this sets the stage. And look, I love North America. I love the USA. I'm a proud American. But the fact that you have Cloud9, who I know they were the best team in the LCK or the LCS all season long, as a favorite at 1.87 against a Mad Lions team that just all they do is win in playoff mode at a 1.95. This is so tasty. I love Mad Lions. I'm sorry, maybe this is a complete bias. I've never seen the LCS look so abysmal as I have this entire past season. I don't see the LCS having much of a performance this year.
I'm the opposite, and I'm shocked. I thought you'd be all on C9. I'm a little bit worried about C9 because their performance
not at a favorite loss to
NRG. Yes, I think is a big flag. It's like I criticized them throughout the whole year. I think saying that they were just coasting. They were not pushing the meta. They were not trying to improve themselves. They were just sleepwalking, lazy. Yep. And I think they paid for it against NRG. Again, I got to shout out Robert. He posted his analytical analysis rankings of his, the data and everything.
The analytical analysis of data.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, model. That's the word I was looking for.
You sound analytical like analysis of data.
Analysis of data. Yeah, exactly. I forgot one. I was like trying to remember model, and I was like, "Fuck, why can't I remember this?" Anyway, his model projects Cloud9 heavily as the favorite.
I'm here to tell again. This is where I completely dismiss all reason and data and say, look at the history of the regions. Look at the history of Mad Lions as a performer in global events. And this to me, I love seeing them at the underdog. I mean, it's not a huge underdog; it's just a small underdog.
Nonetheless.
But nonetheless, give me Mad Lions.
It's a juicy one. Next one is Gen.G versus GAM. GAM qualifying, good for them. I expect nothing here. Like, it's just, again, the odds are actually worse than the T1 TL, so that's good. We are valuing TL higher than GAM.
The extent of us not believing in Gen.G does not translate to first round against teams like GAM.
Exactly.
We'll smoke them.
My actual takeaway, because again, the line here is -12.5 on Gen.G. I think it's too much. They might run it over. But
I don't know, man. Also, 13-0. That clears.
Well, you know what, actually? I actually think it's the opposite side you should take. I like the GAM plus 12.5 because they're pretty aggressive region.
Yeah.
Gen.G is not a particularly aggressive team.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if...
No, Gen.G is just clinical. They're just clinical.
Exactly. But I wouldn't be surprised if GAM just like throws themselves at them and just racks up a few kills and loses the game like single-handedly. But nonetheless, we'll get...
The problem is they will throw themselves at Gen.G and then Gen.G will just kill them. So.
And you think they just won't die?
Yeah, they just will die.
All right, fair enough. JDG versus BDS, and the analysts online, everyone is saying it.
BDS.
369 has never faced anyone like Adam. He will ego challenge Adam. He won't ban any of the gods champs, and he will face off against the Olaf. He will face off against the Darius or the Set, and he thinks he can take him on, and he's going to be sorely mistaken.
I would say
this is where
give Adam Garen. Just let him do it. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
13.8
on 10.6 on BDS. So, if there is a Hail Mary and you really believe it's not a bad one. And again, other one I would shout out here, look, plus 11.5 is the line on BDS.
I would 100% take plus 11.5. This is the one I would 100% take.
Yeah.
To the point that you made earlier, this is the game that BDF thrives in, which is no one expects anything of them. They're just going to go out there and fucking have a great time. Now, the reason I'm so much more bullish on the plus 11.5 over the game, I mean, for obvious reasons, that JTG is a better team. Yeah. This is where BDS, doesn't excel, which is like, game strategy and like taking objectives and like knowing how to work one side of the map while the other teams work on the other side of the map and like making sure that you're trading things.
Yeah.
From a macro perspective, that is BTS's short side, but they do love killing and they're great as a team fighting team. I love the plus 11.5. I will. And
to be fair, LPL loves a fight as well. So the other thing there to look at is definitely the over/under on the kills.
Love that.
I think that is.
This will also be
a lot of fun.
27 minute game.
24.5 at the moment.
With at least 30 kills. I would 100% take that.
So it's a 24.5 at the moment. So if you grab 25.5, you're getting 2.09 odds on that. So I think that's so worth taking. Yeah. Definitely it could be an exciting match. Next one. And to me, this is the most important match. You shout Cloud9 Mad Lions. For me, it's G2 versus Dplus Kia.
Yeah.
Dplus Kia,
Kia.
whatever their name is.
Yeah.
You have G2 at a 2.2 underdogs and Damwon at a 1.68. I think G2 it's the number one seed of Europe. They, as opposed to Cloud9, look dominant, actually dominated.
Plus against the number 4 seed of the LCK.
And it's the 4 seed who has not been as great as anticipated. Now people are wondering, are they going to come out of Worlds and so on? And they might. And that's what I'm watching here. That's like an important thing. It's like, okay, how does Damwon look? That's how does Def's team look? Big question there. But you know what? Like BB, who I've been critical in the past, has really leveled up every single year. Like you look at his career trajectory, he's just a better and better and better top laner. I think this is his best year so far. Yike is looking great. Hans is back in form, maybe not as strong as 21, but he could be back to that level. And Mickey's looking phenomenal. We just need caps to be caps, not craps. I'm excited about this one because I really think this is going to show how good is G2. Can they do it? And so I'm taking the money line. I just think 2.2 is good odds. That's it. Enough said.
You've done all the analysis the analyzing, the data, all the things that I'm not going to do on this. I completely agree. I think G2, this is such a good chance to get them at a good value. If this team is the way that we think that they are and going to be better than previous years, they need to come out. They need to win this match. This is a gettable match for them.
Yeah.
This is a Damwon Kia team that is, and I know it's Dplus Kia, but this is a team that is not as good as they have been in the past. This will be I think this will be a tournament setting match for them if they lose this. Will they beat other kind of like, LCS or other LEC teams? Probably. But if they don't win this one, then I have a tough time seeing them advance anywhere beyond.
It's tricky. I mean, you have some wild cards like in Weibo, obviously, is a big wild card. I think Damon's a clear weakness. The problem is when you're facing off against Gen.G, JDG, BLG, LNG, T1, we're fighting for a quarterfinal spot.
Yeah,
these matches really, really matter. And I don't expect them to beat the number one seeds, but they need to be able to beat these lower seeds. They have to be able to face off against them. NRG versus Weibo. This should be a lot of fun. I mean, it's the Shy. Yeah. It's the Shy. He's facing off against NRG, the number one NA seed. He's a coin flip player. He's entertaining. Weibo's entertaining to watch. I want to see what they do when they face off against them. I wouldn't bet on them. I wouldn't bet on. You wouldn't
put a small taste.
What on NRG? Absolutely not. And Weibo's a 1.15 because I think Weibo's gonna have so much fun smacking them around. It's just gonna be. It's not. It's just gonna be. They're just gonna. I think they'll have chances to end the game, and they'll be like, "No. I want to get more kills."
Right. Why would I end it now?
Exactly.
I am really excited about this. I think that this again, it's a trend like this. I think this is a NRG team that people have continuously underestimated. Going all the way back, obviously the LCS, but to me, this is an NRG team. Now, what are the chances that they maintain and continue their kind of excellent performance that was the end of the LCS season? Like, it's been such a layoff for them. It's really hard to maintain that level of talent and performance. At the same time, man, like, I don't know. Everyone's been down, like, disregarding.
Everyone's doubting them. We doubted them all season. We doubted them. Yeah, for sure.
This is, so why not? Besides BDS, this is kind of the team of my youth, right? This was former CLG, got rebranded back to NRG. You change the ownership and things start improving. And again, this is a number one LCS going up against a number 4 LPL. Mm-hmm. You would expect LPL to have no issue with this, but like, man, for a 5.6, like, I'm definitely going to put a taste. If the LCS has any hope, of having a good tournament, you need to see some signs of life here.
Exactly. I mean, like, it's like what we said about the last match. If you can't beat Weibo, who can you beat? Right. And Weibo is the most coin flippy Eastern team. Yes. They are going to give you opportunities. So 100%. There's definitely a chance of an upset here. So
what's the kill spread at?
The kill spread is at 10.5.
I mean, like, to me, that's another one. Like, I think you
plus
just take
10.5.
that. Yeah, I mean, like, the way that Dakla and Contracts have been playing. Yeah. You have FBI who's got the experience. He's been here before. Mm-hmm. This isn't someone who's a rookie who's going to be afraid of these guys. I love the 10.5, and as mentioned, I'm going to put a small taste on NRG.
All right, I like the confidence there. Next match, Fnatic versus LNG. This is another one that's, I think, a bit of a marquee matchup of the day one. Really sets the tone. We said it a bit earlier. How does Fnatic perform? Like, are we getting 2022 World's Humanoid? Is that who we're going to get? Are we getting Noah, rookie Noah, who is like smashing everyone? Or are we getting playoff Noah, who's not looking so great? A lot of these things, I think, we'll just have to like wait and see. I think Oscar Rinnan is back in. Everything's fine there. It is a tricky one here, but I don't know that I'm going to bet on it. The plus 9.5 kill line for Fnatic, I think the odds are pretty good there, so that might be worth taking. But really, I want to watch this because I'm like, okay, is this the Fnatic team that can cause an upset? Can they get a good draft? Can Humanoid take over? Or is he checked out? And I think it's contract year. So
we all know that means.
There's been rumors. The reason why Fnatic haven't made changes is because his contract is that he is paid his full salary even if he's kept on the bench. So they're like, no point taking him off.
Right.
That's a question because he coasts a little bit during the year. So you got to ask that. And maybe this is the performance.
But all players, once you get to Worlds, players aren't coasting.
Hope not.
That would be the most egregious coasting I've ever heard of.
Sure.
I don't love this. LNG to me is kind of like the antithesis of Gen.G, which is like every time I see them in Worlds, I'm just like, these guys are going to make it to like semis. I just kind of like chalk it up. I don't see them. They just always fucking perform.
They're so consistent.
They're so consistent, and so like to me, like I won't condemn Fnatic if they lose this. Like I don't write them off. I think this is just a superior LNG team. With that said, like if all of a sudden Fnatic comes out and kind of pops LNG in the mouth, this is China's number 3 team. It's not like impossible, right? This isn't the beast.
Yeah, but it's the number
China.
3 team because of points. Technically, they finished second.
Yeah,
so
exactly. But I don't anticipate a Fnatic win. But like, man, if they somehow snake this one out, that would be absolutely epic and makes you reevaluate how you kind of look at the LEC going forward.
Man, look, there's a lot of if G2 pull a win and Fnatic pull off a win, we are setting a tone for LEC. LEC is gonna go wild.
And when BDS beats JDG,
oh man, that would like. Can you imagine a 4-0 day for the LEC? I think we'd have rioting going around. Look, last game of the day is a banger. BLG versus KT. I've said it. I think KT is my underdog from the LCK.
Yeah.
BLG/LNG are my underdogs on the other side of it.
Yeah.
We have great odds on both sides here. 1.83 for BLG, 199 on KT. I think it's great. Value. And I think I take the underdog here. I think KT, like I said, I think KT are being overlooked because of their match against T1. I think they're just a really solid, methodical team. But BLG had an epic run. Literally, apart from JDG and that loss to LNG, they were perfect. So
this is kind of the same thing I said about LNG or against NRG, right? Which is like, to the extent when you have that kind of a miracle run, you kind of wish Worlds would be like the next day. Just start immediately because to maintain that level of excellence, to be able to maintain that like chemistry and just like the meta shifts, like once the meta shifts, like things start changing a little bit. I absolutely agree with you. I think KT is the absolute best play here, especially with the value. Yeah. For me, the other part of this is just like, it's a bit of this will be really interesting to me. I know we've had other marquee matches and you can't make every match a marquee match, but to me, this will be the most interesting match to see how the LCK and the LPL kind of match up for the rest of the tournament. I think this is going to be a really informative match, learning the play styles. Like I know not every team is the same, but I think that this is going to be really indicative. And, not to say this is what determines it, but like to me, if you get Billy winning, I think you have an LC or an LPL team winning it all. Yeah. And I think if KT wins this, then I'm going to have an LCK team winning Worlds.
Okay, interesting. I think that's pretty exciting insight there. I think just a couple of things to kind of add on to this is that one, worth checking out how some of the Western players are doing on the Korean ladder. Yeah, I just saw this as a big post on Reddit at the moment. We have Caps who just broke into the top 50 with a 70% win rate, which is actually like huge. It just means that he's playing at a good performance, which I'm excited to see. I'm hopeful, at least. Maybe it's giving us a little bit too much hope. Maybe it's copium, but we are
here for the copium and the hopium.
I'm all in. I'm excited about this because honestly, I love this new format where we're seeing these best of ones.
I really think it's fun.
It's nice that we're not going to get something like, it's a JDG, Gen.G, and a group of death, and it's like, great, so we're not really, and like GAM and G2, and it's like, oh great, so the best EU team just got shafted by the format. Here we have a real chance, and I think it takes away a lot of excuses.
I completely agree. It leaves the entire table up such that, like, I don't know, unfortunately, if history is anything to repeat, but like you're going to get some LEC and some LCS teams playing each other where maybe they otherwise wouldn't have. And it's going to have for more fun options for those guys. And, going back to the hopium and copium, I would love for this to be a year where it's not just the LCL or the LCK and the LPL battling it out for the top, 8 teams. I would really like to see some variability in there. Which maybe this format actually hurts that, right? Because if all of a sudden you have all the same teams kind of going up and playing against each other, and
but you got to deserve it. At the end of the day,
it allows the cream to rise to the top.
Exactly. And I think, this is partially what's been fun to see about the play-ins. As much as the quality of play wasn't always the best, the drafts weren't always the deciding factor. It was good to see how the number one teams of those regions were actually kind of, holding their own somewhat against BDS at times. And so you start to see like, okay, these minor regions, if you drop them into the LEC or the LCS, the number one team, I reckon, would probably be a top 5, a top 4 team. That's something that I think is good to know. And then now I want to know, okay, well, is G2 an 8th place team in the LPL and the LCK? I don't think so. I think they would be a top 6 team, should we say? Sure. LPL has like 24 million teams, so who knows that? But you know what I mean? Like if we're looking at it, I really think that G2 could compete with that for that 4th spot, and that's all I want. Because then, hey, like just get us to quarterfinals.
Just give us a chance. Just show us there's some hope.
Exactly. All right. On that note, show us some hope, for some comments, for some likes, for some subscriptions. Last week's episode, you guys gave us your thoughts. Really appreciated it. So thanks for all of that. Hope you're going to comment and watch again this time. And if you want to join the Discord to chat to us, links just down below. And enjoy day 1 of Worlds.
And we'll be coming back. We'll be here. We'll be talking. We'll be enjoying the love. So
there we go. For sure. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Toodaloo.